Can you hear me? So, I lost my sense of hearing about nearly 6 years ago. Me and my sister decided to go on a camping trip for our upcoming 25th birthday. Honestly, I never really enjoyed the outdoors, but she loved it. She always told me that the night sky with burning balls of fire would turn me around on it. She always phrased things so weirdly. I brushed it off as another quirk, but there was something in her eyes that I just couldn't quite recognize. Honestly, I wish I had vetoed it. And what do I mean by that? I mean that I wish I removed that from being an option. Uh, anyway, we got there around a week later. My first red flag should have been the fact that there weren't any other tents, any other camper vans, or even people around for miles. My sister, Emily, told me that there would be a group of people there with designated spots. Uh, I suppose she wanted to calm my nerves.
Can you hear me?
I brushed it off and I started to set up camp. What on earth was that? Nah. Anyway, Emily offered to do it. To set up camp. But I needed to busy my own hands. It was getting late because I wanted to be there as little as possible. Emily, for some reason, decided to sleep early. That's when I heard it. A rustle in the tree line, and I grabbed the torch that I packed. Cursing to myself, I didn't splurge for the more powerful one, and that's when I heard it.
Can you hear me?
I shouted out that I could, worried that maybe it was someone that had gotten lost. Someone Emily stated was supposed to be there. As I was going to grab my phone, I clutched my head in pain. My ears started bleeding, and I must have been shouting. My throat felt like it was ripping itself out, and then I passed out. I lost my eyesight 5 years and 7 months ago. Our camping trip was cut early, of course. Emily told me, through a series of hastily written "Can you hear me?" post-it notes, that there was nothing there that day. Nothing that she could hear at the very least before my scream. She was the one who called the ambulance, of course. I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. I needed some psychiatric evaluations as well as physical treatment, of course, but the doctors told me that there was nothing going wrong and concluded that whatever I saw, I must have tripped and fell, and whatever happened to my brain was causing this, that it would be temporary, and life moved on. I was sitting in my apartment. I'm not sure what struck me to do it, but I decided to research into whatever I saw.
Can you hear me?
I remember getting a glimpse of it before hearing it. It looked like static on a television screen, but instead of gray and white, it was pure black, with the fur having an electricity current running through it the whole time. The jaw looked barren, like it had no lips. You know that it had teeth on the lower jaw, but I can't seem to remember how I know. Its eyes were sunken in, a dim white light coming from within them, and its nose concaved in on itself. I also remember it was tall and spindly. It looked like it could wrap itself around a tree and blend in with the shadows. Maybe I remember this so vividly because it's the last thing I saw that night. Not on the computer, in my apartment, with me. I had gone to get a snack after turning up nothing, and its head was in my fridge. I recoiled in terror before the light in my eyes shot out.
Can you hear me?
I lost my sense of smell 4 months ago. I never mentioned my taste to anyone. I thought day in and day out about these things, and there was one thing I noticed. It was when I reacted to whatever it was that I lost it. I had smelled the odor about a week before it got me. I tested my hypothesis. Doreen, my friend, couldn't smell it, or obviously she would react to the smell of a rotting corpse within my living room. I thought, maybe if I ignore it, it'll go away. But it only seemed to be getting worse with me. Worse and worse and worse. I was holding on until the corpse moved. I was able to locate where it was, if only because it was so strong, and it moved. It got into my face. This creature, whatever it was, seemed to be changing the odor to whatever I hated the most, like it was in my brain. I heard that again.
Can you hear me?
I couldn't help myself. I vomited. And I lost my sense of touching 10 minutes ago. It was when I was writing this. I brushed up against one of those damn fingers. You might be thinking, how am I typing all this? Well, before everything, I was coding. I did it day in and day out, and I know my keyboard like the back of my hand. I also know there isn't a finger beside the C key.
Can you hear me?
Uh, uh, has it been 14 minutes? It's getting difficult to tell. Listen, Doreen is gone. I came here asking for help. I can't. I can't feel hunger or thirst or pain or anything. Please, I need you. It's here. It can affect me. It can feed me anything, and it can drain me of my very essence. I came here to give my address, but I can't remember it. Somewhere in Maine, I think. Hell, I don't even know if I'm typing the right keys. I can't think straight. I think it's taking everything. Taking me over. I did this a lot, so I know how to pose. Please tell me you'll find this. Remember, just answer it. You hear me?